Hello, and welcome to episode 76 of the Online Strength Coach podcast, Balancing University and Getting Swole. Hello, and welcome to episode 76 of the Online Strength Coach podcast. Today's question comes from the 5-stage question that was put up on episode 73 by Jim John. We're looking at topic number 2 on his list, which is the title of the podcast, How to Balance Lifting with the University Lifestyle. Something that I have a 4-year experience of, having lifted having both took up lifting properly through uni, and then that lifting actually being the formative factor that's led me to pursuing a career as a strength and conditioning coach, stroke meathead, stroke powerlifter, stroke self-proclaimed internet guru. So this basically just comes down to time management. And it's something this is a topic that's relevant to anyone with a job, anyone with kids, anyone with multiple commitments that they need to service, yet they want to take up lifting, and they can't take up lifting because there's too many barriers to entry, as in they have too many time demands, they can't see where they're going to fit it in, there's detractors within their lifestyle that say they can't do it, such as an unsupportive partner, or mother or father. People put up barriers to why they can and can't do things. But basically, the kind of crux before we go on to this is basically how people prioritize their wants and needs. So a want, and I've talked about this before, a want is something that you'd like to do. It's something that you like the idea of. A want is something that you think about and you have pleasant associations with it, and you feel that it would add value to your life, or you feel that it would be good for you. However, you won't do it because you don't desire to do it. You just would want to do it. The typical example of a want when it comes to health and fitness is people who make the same resolution every year. They make the resolution that they're going to lose weight, yet they never see it through, and they never get to the other end of what is a long, involved process. That's because they don't need to lose weight. Now, a need is something that drives what you do. It drives your decisions. It drives what you do. So an example of someone who has a need in university would be the need for social interaction, the need to go out, the need to get fucked up. That is a need for a lot of people within university. Certainly within first year, they might have an end of term exam during Christmas, but all their friends have finished their university exams, so they're all going out on a Thursday night to get on it, to celebrate the fact that they've finished their university exams. Someone who has a need to socialize and a need to be with their friends and a want to do well at school will go out the Thursday night before they have an exam, get slaughtered, and rock up to the exam the next day having not done any preparatory reading, and not had a good night's sleep, probably still pissed, and they funked the exam, but drinking lols, so it's fine. That's a perfect example of someone with a want and a need issue. So there's two ways this time management thing can come down to. It can be someone who wants to train but can't develop the need to train because there's too many obstacles for them to get past. Or it could be someone who needs to train but wants to do well at school. So I know, and people who, maybe the people I refer to listening to this will know who I'm talking about, but I have a couple of friends that I trained with quite a lot in the last 6-7 years who need to train. They don't want to train, they need to train. Yet both of them dropped out of university because the need to train overcame their want to do well at university. I don't know if it was particularly a want for some of them, but they were training in double sessions. They were putting pretty much every ounce of physical energy that they had into getting stronger at barbell lifting, and then the net result was something's got to give, and university gave way. So this can be a problem, I think, for a lot of people. If you're the sort of person that listens to this podcast, especially given that it's not like a massively popular podcast yet, or hopefully if you're listening to this in the future in 2035 when I'm the emperor of the world, then you're listening to my formative thoughts and formative years, then thank you for staying the cause and onwards to victory. Someone who wants to train, but they can't make time for university. They haven't got the time management, or they haven't developed the time management skills to be able to juggle both. For this person, you need to sit down and objectively think about where you're headed in the next 4 or 5 years. So, if you've done this process already, then you'll be in your university subject because it is actively what you want to do. This is something that I didn't start developing or start doing until kind of the later stages of life. Well, later stages of life. I'm only 30. Hashtag old fucker. Something that I developed towards, certainly started developing like the early 20s, like 22, 23, when I had already started university life, was almost finished my undergraduate degree. The only reason that I ended up gravitating towards strength and conditioning and gravitating towards strength sports was the fact that I had a love for barbell training, a love for strength training. It started off as a need to look good, as a need to be a sick shredded cunt. When I first started training, rugby was what I needed to do. Rugby was what I wanted to do. Not what I wanted to do, it was what I needed to do. Rugby took priority when it came to decisions I made in life, to decisions that I made for training. I played for school and club, so I was training in around the kind of 10-15 hour a week mark, playing a game minimum, possibly 2 games a week. I was spending a lot of my time just being involved in rugby and playing in rugby during young ages from 15 to 18. And school didn't interest me. School wasn't a need. School was something that I did. I didn't particularly want to do well in school. I just kind of did it. And university was the done thing. And as university was the done thing, I kind of fell into sports science at the University Centre Lancaster because they had a poster up in our sixth form college room. Not sixth form college, our sixth form room, kind of the place where the older kids, 17, 18-year-old kids who were in lower sixth and upper sixth doing their A-levels would come and congregate between lessons. And that's the reason I did sports science. And I kind of figured out within about second year, towards the end of second year, start of third year, that sports science was a pretty shit degree. There's not really much you can do with it unless you want to go down a very difficult very difficult road. And it's something that sports science students and graduates all recognise at some stage during their career, that if they want to go down a sports science related profession, such as strength and conditioning, such as sports science support, it's very, very difficult to get into because there's so many people wanting to get into the jobs and there's so few roles. It's not easy to actually get into these positions. And with the exception of a few positions, the pay is pretty shit. So they inevitably end up going down vocational routes, such as teaching. Some may end up retraining altogether to a master's in business, or they end up in completely disparate points in life because they haven't sat down and thought about, what the fuck do I want to do? Where am I going with life? What am I doing with my life? So if you haven't done like a larger, you haven't got like a 5-year idea of what you want to do, a 10-year idea of what you want to do, what goals you want to achieve, then prioritizing your wants and your needs becomes almost a futile task, because there is no furtherment, there is no further point of where you're going with yourself. So if you don't have that goal, or you don't have a clarity of where you want to be, university is quite likely to be a want, because you're not going to need the university degree to go where you want to go. If you decided in upper sixth you wanted to be an engineer, then you need the degree. The degree is a need. And you might need to train, and you might need the university, but the fact that you want to become an engineer, you want to have that career, you want that lifestyle, you want that good professional job, the need to do well at university will overcome or will override that need to train, because you have that's inbuilt. It is something you desire, and people make time for what they desire. They'll do what's necessary for what they desire. They won't do what's necessary for what they want. It's an unwinnable battle. You can't. There's no point striving for want. There's absolutely no point. If you want to achieve something, you need to put yourself in a position where you need to achieve that something. I'm becoming a fucking motivational speaker. I had too many coffees this morning. But if you decide, for instance, if you're doing medicine and you desire to become a doctor, I've seen it before with people who take up lifting, love lifting, train 4 or 5 times a day, at least with 2 people that I know, good friends, possibly, who have, they have a strong will to train, they have a strong need to train, they want to train, they love to train, they love lifting weights, they love exercise. However, they're in a demanding academical position, so that demanding academic position, or that demanding degree, or that time demanding pursuit necessitates that they prioritize, and they often end up prioritizing the degree over training. So that they go. I know one person, more of an acquaintance than a friend, who's now a surgeon, and he dips in and out training. He graduated his medical degree probably. Oh, it's hard to say now. It's probably about 5-6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. Since he has graduated from that degree, he's dropped out of. He was a powerlifter, did competitions, loved it. He's dropped in and out of training for 6 months at a time, if not more. He's prioritized his life. He's now got into a place in his career where it's not so crazy anymore. He has more of a solidified working pattern. But he can only train 2-3 times a week at best, probably 2 times a week. And he just comes in and does some bodybuilding, and he's got about 40-50 minutes to do it, and he gets his shit done and leaves, and that's what he does. He can't be as serious with it as he would probably no doubt like to be, because he hasn't got the time in his life to be able to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. People, you need to make the decisions that are right for you. People who love CrossFit, who need to do CrossFit, who love the camaraderie, who love the whole 9 yards. These people prioritize CrossFit over a lot of things. There's a lot of things within people's jobs that they could do to further themselves, to get further where they want to go. They can stay behind work, they can do extras, they can take on extra projects, they can go the extra mile, they can be the first one in, the last one to leave. And if that's what they need to do for whatever reason, then they can do that and they can achieve that. But some people do the job because they need the money, but they don't want to do the job. And that's nothing wrong with that. You need to survive, so if that's what you need to do to survive, that's fine. But if that enables that person to go along to the CrossFit gym 5 days a week and interact with people and to do something that they love to do, then that person derives a lot of pleasure from that. So there's nothing wrong with that. But basically, kind of the crux of this is, you need to decide what it is you need to do. So if you need to do well at university and you need to train, then you need to come kind of compromise between the two. Now, I'll put out my scenario to let you kind of see where I've come to of a compromise. I need to train. There's no question about it. I need to train. It is an absolute desire. If I don't train, I get depressed. It's something that I physically need to do as a person. I don't know if it's an expression or what, but I definitely need to do it. I need to work. Everyone needs to bring in money, so I'm quite fortunate in that I love my job, but my job is very demanding. My job is not a 9 to 5. My job is a 7 till 8, a 7 till 7. My job some days is a 7 till 10. But I love to do it, so I do it. So it's quite often, like yesterday, I didn't really have... I normally train in the morning. I would normally train from about 6 till about 7, sometimes 5:30. Back in the good old days, from 5:30 to 6:30. But I tend to finish training by about 7:30 during the day, because that's where I've found out it's the only time I physically have the capacity to train the way I want to train, where I want to train, how I want to train, do it on my terms, so that I leave the gym happy that I've done what I want to do. Because as soon as my day starts, I get dragged this way, dragged that way. There's often times I just physically haven't got the time to fit in a 40-minute training session, a 30-minute training session. And believe me, if there was an ability to do that, then I would do it, because I need to train. So I've discovered that I work such long hours, or I work in such a way that I just got to train in the morning. So I've got an hour slot 5 days a week, an hour slot 6 days a week, where I can do the training that I need to do. So I've stopped taking long rests. I've stopped fucking about in the gym. Not that I ever really did that. I don't really have any training partners anymore, because I don't talk to people as I train. I come in with my workout and I do my workout, and that's how I get through it. That's what I do. Beforehand, when I did a job that I didn't like, I just did it because I needed the money. It was in a gym. I would train with lifters. What I derived the most pleasure from was training with my friends. We spent a lot of time pushing each other with a really good training group, really good training environment. But that doesn't fit to my lifestyle anymore. I can't do that anymore, so I don't do it anymore. Because I don't need to do it. It was something that I really liked doing. But what I need to do is I need to train. So I've found a position in a place in my life, or I've managed to prioritize, and I do the things that I would need and want to do, because I've put it somewhere where it fits, and I've got a balance. I've got a huge home life. I've got a serious girlfriend who we've been going together. It's our 9th year we've been together now. Like, she likes to go to the gym, so I bring her to the gym once a week, and it's a really nice way that I can use the skills that I've learned to kind of help her along. But it's just a really nice way to spend time with each other. So that's an instance where you can utilize something that you love to bring a bit of harmony, a bit of balance in your life. And I've got lots of friends, and that's probably where my balancing act drops. Is I probably don't spend enough time with my friends. I definitely don't spend enough time with my friends and family. And that's where I probably need to right that balance a little bit. But I haven't got it right. I haven't got it perfect, and it's very difficult to do these things. So the answer to the question, how do you prioritize your university life, or how do you balance your university life and your lifting life? Discover what it is you need from your lifting life. So if you need the social interaction, if you need to train with your buddies, if you need to train with your powerlifting club, and your powerlifting club training on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday night, then that's blocked out of your calendar that you're doing it because you need to do it, and that's grand. You should do that. But then there's a whole week left. So go to university, do your studying, timetable your time. Start on a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning. Lay out on Google Calendar, lay out your week, block your week out, book appointments, book your lectures in, book your lunch in, book your training in, and stick to your times, and just do it that way. Motivational speech 2 concluded. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. I think the one that I recorded previously, 75, which is receiving good response, which is great. It's always good to have a good response to what you do. I think that's trying to just put me in the mood where I am now a public speaker, or I am now a motivational speaker. But I hope you find it useful. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe to us on iTunes when eventually we do get out in iTunes. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Mark, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you very much. Now what we do is press play.